And we've touched now. Tell us, in Argentina, you went and did a year's trip. Of course, you've met Dr. Brian Weiss. Tell us a bit about that in your training.
Yes, okay. So yeah, I met him in Melbourne.
Lucky you.
Yeah, like I think 5 years ago, I met him, and I did short training of 4 days there in Melbourne. But before that, I studied for 1 year past life regression therapy in Argentina. Well, I started doing past life regressions to my friends before I did the course.
What attracted you to do this? Because it's not something that everybody takes on board or gets a bit scared about it. You know, what made you decide to pursue? To pursue it.
Well, I always believed in past lives since I was a little kid, and I love hypnosis. And I used to play with my cousins. I have 4 cousins and my little brother, all of them younger than me. I'm the oldest ones. And I used to play with them that I will, hypnotize them and take them to another dimension. That was something I would play with them when I was, I don't know, 7 years old,
Goodness me.
8. I think my parents, they never realized that was, different, a different kind of game. And, but it was good. So I do pretty much the same, to be honest, that I used to do when I was a children. Yeah, so, the same guided meditation. And for sure, now I have knowledge and I know exactly what I'm doing. That's why I studied to know, what other scientists know and learn about this kind of therapy.
When, of course, it's still very foreign to a lot of people. It's something that when you were doing your training, that was 8 years ago.
Yes, 8 years ago.
And in Argentina, is it quite common for people to do past life regression?
Not back in that time. Not back in 2011, to be honest. It was it was very new thing. Now it's common, but not in 2011. I think the last 5 years, everything have changed. I mean, in 2011, everything started changing, but now it's okay. Back in 2011, someone who will come to do past life regression session, I don't think they will tell their friends that they done it. They will keep it, private. And now it's all good. Like, yeah, everything, Reiki or any other alternative therapy is totally fine. And yeah.
And what do you think about Australians? Do you think we've embraced the past life regression?
I think, I think in Australia is similar to Argentina. Maybe, people here feel a little bit more embarrassed because I don't know Australia in general. I live in Perth and I'm based here. I don't really know how is the people. I mean, I've been visiting other states, but I can't really give an opinion. But I can give an opinion of Perth because I've been living here for a very long time. And I think here we have many religions coexisting in the same place. So yeah, sometimes many people will decide to keep this for themselves, like not really sharing with others that they do believe in past lives. While in Argentina, people is not that religious than here, so it's not prejudgments about what's right and what is not right. You do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Yeah.
What do you think people get from coming to see you, or anybody for that matter, who does past life regression therapy? What are the benefits of it?
The benefits of past life are many. People come to me for looking for healing, because I don't do only past life, but I'm also a healer. So yeah, when I am offering the therapy, it's not really for people who feels curiosity. I mean, there is many people who feels curious about past life, and then they will come to the session, but this is not for entertainment, at least from my perspective. That's what I believe, and that's how I do it. So the most of the people that will come to past life regression therapy because they tried other therapies and they were not successful, healing different traumas. Look, I'm a healer and I work with spirituality, so I personally believe that I will attract people to my sessions that are, vibrating with my same frequency. So I believe that the majority of the people who come to see me, they normally come because they want to heal, for example, anxiety, or they want to heal relationships, or they don't know what career, if they want to make a change in their profession, and they want to see what they've done in past lives, and so, to have an idea of what to do in the present. But that's me. There are probably many other therapists that will receive different kind of people. At the very beginning, when I started, I would receive different kind of cases. Like people will come to me for, many of them will come to me for healing the physical body. I remember having people with cancer, with AIDS, people who, they have a family member who passed away, and then they will come to me because they couldn't, find any answer. That was more at the very beginning in 2011 to 2014, let's say. But recently, in the last 4 years or 3 years, people, they like that kind of people are not coming anymore to me. But this doesn't mean that they don't exist anymore. They probably go somewhere else. And I'm having more people coming, especially here in Perth at the moment, more looking for finding answers about spirituality, because they see things, or they have dreams, or they want to do something for their life. The majority of my clients is amazing. They come to me saying, look, I feel like I am here alive for a bigger purpose. I feel like I have to do something big.
They come seeking their life purpose.
Exactly, yeah.
And wanting an answer.
Which is really good for me, because they're beautiful. I mean, I'm very open, to everyone, but I have to say that all my clients are beautiful. So beautiful people, enlightened. Like after they leave the session, they will do great things. I'm not saying that they're doing this because they came to see me, but they probably were, they had all the potential before they come to the session. That's why they felt,
well, you give them hope and inspiration.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but honestly, they write books. I have clients who have written books. They work on television. I have many people who work in television in Argentina. I'm not saying that they are great people because they work in television. We all have, but they, to be a person who you have a message and thousands of people will listen to you, like you in the radio, or people in television who many others will listen to their messages. So I feel like, whoa, it's interesting that they can share their stories with. They will not tell, I did a past life regression and this happened. But when you realize that you had past lives, everything changed your life, the perspective of everything. You can't see the things the same way. You can't really think in the same way of planet Earth, for example, because you will come back.
Changes your perspective.
You care, yeah.
So talk us through, what do you do to your clients or patients, whatever, when they come to visit you? How do you go and get them to regress back? What technique are you using?
Okay, so the technique that I use is the thing I learned in hypnotherapy. So it's a guided meditation. And so normally I will help you to relax your physical body, focus on your breathing, and then I will always ask for assistance to your spirit guides. I work with the spirit guides, and I always ask to my client. By the way, I say clients because in Australia,
we don't say patients anymore.
Exactly, patients are for doctors only. So yeah, that's something that I learned here actually, and so yeah, and I work with the spirit guides. And many of my clients, they are skeptical. They don't believe, and but I tell them, look, I do this. If you're happy with this, it's fine. If you're not, we don't need to ask for assistance. But they are like, well, I'm open. Let's see what happens. And it's really nice to know that we all have lovely souls around us helping us the 24 hours, because after the session they know they can still ask for some help to them. So it's very nice. Some people will see them as with a, face like a person, female energy or male energy. Other people will just see a light, just energy. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And after that, people will see their past lives or future lives or lives between lifetimes, because all that information is stored in deeper levels of our consciousness, even experiences that we have in between different lifetimes.
So is there any path that your clients have taken? Perhaps they went and they were teachers because of the regression. They've chosen to change their life path. Is there any examples that jump out at you?
I have many. I brought a few, stories for you today. I brought many,
Please
but
share them, of course, yes.
I don't think I will have enough
It's still
time.
very new, and even in Perth, there's not a lot of practitioners around that actually do this. So it's lovely that you've come in. Thank you from your busy schedule.
Thank you for inviting me.
And to tell us, yes, please go ahead.
Yes. The most incredible story that I have is once back in 2013, I have one of my clients. She's a lady, and she was like, "Look, I need to, tell to my boyfriend to do it." So he came for the session, and it was so funny because I said to him, "Oh, okay, why are you here?" And he was like, "Ah, because my girlfriend sent me."
I was told what to do.
Yeah.
That's pretty. It's a male thing.
I was like, "Okay, do you believe in past lives?" And he was like, "No." "Okay, do you believe in God?" And he was like, "No." "Do you believe in angels, spirits, life, afterlife?" And he was like, "No, I don't believe in anything. I only believe in science." And I was like, "Oh, that's good, because you know what? Like, I learned from scientific, because like you guys have listened to Brian Weiss before. He's a scientist. He's a psychiatrist. So yeah, he learned in uni. So he's a man from science. So I was like, "Look, yeah, that's good, because I can help you." So he was laughing, and I was like, "Well, what's your problem? What do you feel like healing?" And he was like, "Well, nothing really, but so actually I always make you questions, and that's very important to say. Every time you come for a session, I will make you many questions, just for creating some engagement for you to feel comfortable, for me to know how to help you." So after a few questions, he was like, "Well, I actually have something. I'm very angry and disappointed because my sister passed away when this guy at that time was 28. I normally, by the way, I know I'm 32, so I normally attract people of my age. I don't know why, who are around my age. So this guy was my same age back in that time, and he was like, when I was 13 years, was actually 14, my younger sister of 13, she passed away from one day to another. So I found her dead in her bed. I don't know what's the name for this condition when you die, when you sleep in? Do you know the name? Well, but sometimes happen.
Could have been an asthma attack. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, and he was like, "I felt very angry because I couldn't save her. She was in the next room, and this happened, and da da da." And I was like, "Well, let's see what happened." So when we did the regression, the regression was 3 hours long. So I'm just telling you the long story short. Yes. I did all the guided meditation, and he was like, "No, not working. I see darkness. I see darkness." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." I was like, "Well, it's what's happening in the darkness?" And he was like, "Oh, it's another person in there." And I was like, "Okay, can you describe the person for me?" And he was like, "Well, it's a lady, but she's scary. Like she I don't like her. She looks like bad, like Walking Dead, the series from television." He was like, "Oh, she's disgusting." I was like, "Okay, you maybe want to talk to her." And he was like, "No, I don't want to talk to her. No, I don't feel comfortable with her."
But he's under hypnosis now.
Yes. Well, the thing is, when you are under hypnosis, you don't realize you are. You thought like normal. Yeah. Only with your eyes closed. And I was like, well, let's see what she wants to tell you. So I count the numbers from 3 to 1, and straight away he saw a landscape. And I was like, where are you? And he was like, now I'm seeing things. And I was like, that's good. And he was like, well, this is England. And back in the time, like hundreds of years ago. And I was like, well, what are you doing there? And he was like, I'm a soldier. I have a sword, like a blade. And I'm actually the boss of the soldiers. He was like, I'm the head. And it feels really good. He was very happy, enjoying and smiling, And he was like, well, we are actually conquering another town or country. It looks like a small town, to be honest, but I think it was a country. I was like, okay. And they were just walking, crossing bridges, killing people, because for sure people, they didn't want to be conquered. So he was actually enjoying the whole thing. And there was a lady, and she was swearing to him. She was very angry. She was like, get out of here, bad things. And so he cut his belly. And he told me that all the organs were coming out. And I said to him, how do you feel doing it? And he was like, I actually feel great. And okay, so I said to him, do you recognize this lady? Because I always, when you do past life regression therapy, I always ask you if you recognize people, and not about their look, but their feeling. When you know someone, it's not about how they look from outside. It's about, we think it's about that,
like
especially nowadays. It's about the energy. It's not about the haircut or the color of the skin. We feel attracted to someone because of the other person's energy, or we feel rejection because of the other person's energy. He was like, oh my goodness, this is the lady I saw before, the scary one. And I was like, hey, oh, she's dying on the floor and all bleeding and all the organs and da. And
he was dying.
No, she
had cut herself open.
No, he cut her belly with his sword.
He had used the sword against her.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm missing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he entered into her house. He still, because what they will do, apparently, that's what he said to me. In that time, you will conquer another country, but in the meanwhile, you will steal things from the people. So if you see anything, value in the houses, you will keep it for you. That's what the soldiers will do back in the time.
They're pillaging. Yeah.
Yes. So he entered into the house and he found a little girl, the daughter of the lady, crying. The girl was crying into the house, and he was like, well, I was like, what are you going to do? To be honest, when I listen to these stories, I'm like, like watching a movie. I'm thinking,
of course, yeah.
Oh my goodness, tell me she's not going to kill the little girl. I mean, I'm not judging, but it feels a little bit funny, And he was like, you know what? Like, I can't kill this little girl. She's so beautiful. She's small. She's, I just killed her mom. So I think I will take her with me. So he took her back to England. And I said to him, do you recognize the little girl? And he was like, he started crying and he got very sad. And he was like, oh my goodness, she's my sister. The sister who in this life
as a teenager.
Yes. And he was like, oh my goodness. And he realized, many things. It's like in only 1 or 2 seconds, the whole thing changed. He passed from being a victim, because in this lifetime he was the victim. He was the poor brother who lost his sister at very young age, to feel actually like, she actually, came to my life to give me a lesson.
But what was the lesson that she left at 13? What was that meaning behind that?
After he recognized the little girl, he said to me, she's my sister and I killed her mom. And her mom is still angry with me. So she's still next to me all the time, making me feel sick, making me feel guilt, making me feel like, I can't, because then after the session, he told me more things. Before the session, he was like very, my life is amazing. And then after this, he was like, no, sometimes I feel, contradictions, and I felt guilt, and I feel like I have weird thoughts. I like to drink, da 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 da. When I feel in this way. But under hypnosis, he was saying me that the lady was all the time close to him, and she was close to him for many other lifetimes until this little girl that he took in that life with him, she born as his sister
in this lifetime.
So this is a very long session. I'm just telling you in a very short time, but the end of the story is that the little sister became the little girl became the little sister, the younger sister, and she talked to him, and she was like, look, stop feeling sad about me passing away, because I'm good now. It's all good. It was a lesson for you to learn that you are not possessing people, to learn to detach. So yeah, that was very, intense session. Yeah. Even, when I listen to these things, I'm also learning things. It's not only for my clients.
Of course, it's a learning process. But I'm going to ask, so did the mother of this little girl, was she released? Was he able to let that go?
Yeah, I didn't tell you that part of the story. Well, after this, I said to him, well, do you want to talk to her again? And he was like, yeah. Do you want to say anything to her? And he was like, yeah, I will apologize. And when he was saying sorry to her, she changed her appearance, and she was looking ugly at the very beginning that I told you is scary, like Walking Dead, and she became beautiful again, and she walked away with the little girl. And after that, we finished the session.
Wow. So they were able to be released.
Oh my gosh, I had the wet eyes, and then back in the day, I was like, oh,
And did he only just come for that one session? Obviously, it was 3 hours. It was a rather long session. It's a rather long story. I hope you're still listening, everybody. It's riveting, though. It really is.
But, I told you before, this allows you to see things in another perspective that you will never know.
And that way giving you freedom as well. Freeing up your mind, your body, and your soul too.
That's how the healing process began.
Exactly. And it's sort of when you're treating your cancer patients, and it's been proven for many, many years, 3 to 5 years prior to your cancer diagnosis, there usually is a huge amount of suffering that's happened, be it grief from the loss. And it's something that it's very important, isn't it? Because back in the day, now doctors acknowledge that. It was always written in the Lancet. It was always very well known about the diagnosis happening after a significant life loss. But now doctors openly talk about it, which is a huge significance, because the healing does help. You can find out the healing that way.
And I believe that many changes are coming as well. I'm very excited to see what doctors will be like in 10 years.
I can't wait for you to come back, but we're going to have to wrap this up, darling. It's been lovely having you on board. You're listening to Tides Drive with the beautiful past life regressor, all the way from Argentina, Florencia. And a website that you have, Florencia?
Oh, yeah, true. You will find me in Instagram. It's Past Life Therapy, or Facebook, which is the same, Past Life Therapy and Healing. Yeah,
fantastic.
So at Past Life Therapy.
Well, I want to wish you bon voyage. You're heading back to Argentina?
Yes, I will go. I'm leaving on next weekend on Saturday night. I will be away for 2 months, and I will be touring Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay.
Will you promise to come back and tell us all your stories?
Yes, I will, in February for Valentine's.
How wonderful. I can't wait to have you back. It's been wonderful having you on board here today. It just really is a treat and wonderful insight, a great way of looking at the world, and just so much interesting stuff out there now. Here's a beautiful Australian-Italian girl who has written The Symphony of Life, because life can be a symphony, a very beautiful symphony. As long as you know how to play the music, of course. That does help. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much. I hope this story helped the people who have listened to it.
Well, you couldn't make that up, You couldn't make that up, darling.
I wish you all the best for this week, and many blessings for you and your family and all your loved ones.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. See, it goes so quick. You could talk and talk.